before we go ahead with the setup, we need to make a physical Ethernet connection, TCP/IP connection to the device. So let's go ahead and set up our Ethernet IP address. So go to network settings on your computer, go to Ethernet, change adapter option, Ethernet, and then properties. Here under properties, go to IPv4 and make sure that you use IP address. So our Bean device by default is in the network 192.168.4 and 123 being its IP address. So we will be setting our computer IP address to 192.168.4.200 being the unique address for our computer on the network. So subnet is 255.255.255.0. Press OK and close this option. Let's go to the software, and here, before we make the connection, there are a few options on the left hand side, as you could see, and on the top there is connection and start connection. So you can go ahead and start the connection. So if you click on start connection, the connection has been started. There are some other IP address setup that you can go through using the manual. So once you have the setup, communication setup, you will have the connection, and you can see the details of the Bean device over here. And this is the gateway, Bean gateway setup and the MAC address of it. And on the top Explorer, you will see the Bean device setup, its MAC address, its battery health, and various different options. And this platform is on analog millivolt, and the source voltage to the sensor is 5 volts excitation. Okay, and the measuring range is between -20 to +20 millivolt. Its polarity is bipolar, that's why it's -20 to +20 millivolt. And there are some information regarding the health of the battery, memory, battery, and hardware versions, software versions, and so on. In the bottom you will see the uh, the data acquisition configuration, but on the left we will check about the different channels. So here in this example, I've set up channel number 0 as one of the 30 kilonewton load cell. As you can see, I've labeled it as the load cell model name, and technology by default analog millivolt, and state is on, so my channel is turned on. So on the right hand side you can set up your label. You can type in manually your model code and unit, and the ratio is calculated by using conversion assistant. So in order to use this conversion assistant, you need to make sure that you are connected to, or you are in the expert view. So the expert view is check mark here. So to log into the expert view, you have to use the license key, which is provided with the DVD with the software. So here on the conversion assistant, I'm going to be putting in the scaling value for the millivolt scaling from 0 to 7.499, because 7.499 is my sensitivity of the load cell given by the calibration certificate of the load cell manufacturer, and I have converted from millivolt to millivolt per volt to millivolt. So 7.499 is the value, and 0 to 30 kilonewton. Select any unit on the drop down list because it won't let you go forward. So once you are outside the menu, you can go ahead and type in your custom unit, so kilonewton. And offset, I will keep it as 0, so you can put your own offset once you configure your load cell. With the no load condition, whatever the offset you see, you have to type in the minus offset value. If it's in plus value, if it's in the minus value, then you type in the plus offset value to show it 0. So there are nodes and alarm level configuration. Nodes is just you can enter your load cell information. Click on validate to apply the changes, and here in the bottom you can see view the graph. So before turning on the system, you have to go back to your device on the left hand tree, and here it says stopped, so we are not performing the data acquisition yet. So we will go and configure the data acquisition. So here we're going to set up data acquisition mode and click on start in order to see our data. So in the bottom it's transmission only or log only or both transmission and log. So it means that transmission is just you are going to view the data on the screen. Log is you're going to log the data into the computer. So there's different modes that you can choose. Here I'm going to be showing low duty cycle and streaming method, so which is just to get the data or the graph on the screen. So on the low duty cycle, you can type in for how many seconds you want to log the data or update the data. So here I've typed in 5 seconds, so every 5 seconds my data will be updated. So once you hit start, in the left hand side the data acquisition status will be started, and then in the graph here you will see the values or the graph changing, and you can see in the bottom on the x-axis for every 5 seconds the data will be updated with the date on time on it. So you can open up this graph in a separate window, open in a new window, and see you can measure, or your y-axis is kilonewton and your x-axis is time. So you're recording the data, sampling the data per time. That was low duty cycles for a slower data acquisition. Next up, you can change to a lower time cycle, and it'll prompt you. So for this particular device, 2 seconds is the minimum time for low duty cycle, so it'll automatically assign 2 seconds. So we're going to go ahead and type in 2 seconds per data update and then click on start. So once you start, you will see the channel come up. So I have channel 1, which has been connected to a simulator, a load cell simulator. Here I'm going to be changing into different millivolts. I'm going to give you different millivolts for it will change the scaling to 0 to 30 kilonewton. As you could see, I'm slowly increasing my millivolt, and I went up to 2.4 or 5 4 close to 2.4 2.3 kilonewton, and then back down. You can stop this data acquisition, and now we will change to a different style or different mode, which is streaming. Streaming is nothing but based on the sample rate, so you can manually type in your sample rate. Here I'm going to be using an example sample rate of 5 hertz. So I'm going to click start. 5 or 10 hertz, that's fine. So it'll give you all the details when you start the data acquisition, and then you can click on the channel to view the graph. So open in a new window and then check. So as you could see, the data is updated very frequently based on your sampling rate, and I'm slowly increasing my simulator millivolt signal, which should scale from 0 to 30 kilonewton. So this is just an example. You can verify your readings by hovering on the graph, and you'll see the cursor giving you the different the exact values on the graph. So you can change the color of the graph on the top left corner. You can change the line color and so on. So right now we are streaming only channel 1. So on the left hand side you have multiple sensor display. You can select your sensor or channel display. So I've selected one here, and this is how the channel graph display will look like. This is the 3 channel, and you can add the 4th one. So simultaneously you can monitor 4 different graphs at the same time, and you can view all the values by hovering the cursor on the graph. You can get the exact value of x-axis and y-axis which on the graph on all 4 graphs simultaneously. I'm just varying the channel 0 outside channel 1, and here as you could see I'm going from 0 to 2 kilonewton simulation from my simulation box and then back down. So, and also you can open up individual window out of it. Close this. That's about it. So most of the setup is on this particular screen on this channel settings. You can turn on and off your channels. So in order to do that, you need to make sure that you stop data acquisition first. So click on stop, and then go back to your channel. You can turn off channels that you don't require to log data or do not wish to log data. So you can just turn on only the channels where you have connected the your sensor. So here I'm gonna be showing the example, so you can just go on the state and then click on that to turn on and off your channel. So it's pretty straightforward. You can download all the configuration. You can save a copy of the settings on what you have done, and you can set up a folder for logging the data in the bottom right on the screen, where you can specify to log the data to a particular folder in your computer. So all the data saving settings are on the top on the bottom right corner, and after you're done with the connections, you can done with the configuration, you can export this file and save it as a custom configuration file for any